Witches. So today I wanted to introduce a cool mini topic to you, and that is Storm Magick, which I think is perfect for April, because we all know that phrase, April showers bring May flowers. Again, sorry for the noise. I don't know what my neighbor's doing. It is 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and apparently she's moving furniture. I'm super sorry, guys. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. I have always loved thunderstorms, especially those summer storms that roll in out of nowhere, right? And it's warm out and it's pouring rain, but the rain's kind of warm and it's nice. And everything is really chaotic and the light is weird. But anyways, as witches, we have this cool ability to harness, right, some of those natural energies, especially if we're in more of a water-based or earth-based practice, right? I think witches and storms go hand in hand. I feel that's a really common trope of witches calling on storms and whatever. There's something about that archetype of almost channeling chaos. Not to say that you can control storms go there, that's not what I'm saying. It's just intriguing to me, this idea of harnessing chaos. This is more of an intermediate or advanced technique, I would say, or topic. So if you're just starting out and don't feel comfortable doing this, there's absolutely no rush. You don't have to do this. I just wanted to talk about it, and if it doesn't apply to you, save this video for a later date. Feel free. But for those who do want to talk about it, let's do it. Okay, so the first thing about calling thunderstorms, it's important that you understand from the beginning that storms are not necessarily things that we can control. It's a force of nature. You can't. But you can encourage a storm to occur in a specific way. So this is kind of where we get into this woo-woo, witchy territory. So it is what it is. But the best way that I have found to call a storm is actually really simple. All you need is a cauldron or a bowl, and some water and your finger. But you kind of have to do three things at once. So hang with me here. So the first thing you're going to do is you'll pour the water into the bowl, and using your finger here, I'm just going to use this as an example. This is a teeny tiny little cauldron that I will talk about later. But basically water's in the bowl, and you'll take your finger and you will stir 3 times, 3, 5, or 7 times clockwise. I usually do 7. I've heard it done different ways. I don't really know if there's a difference, to be honest. I think it's just in terms of practice. While you're doing this, what you're gonna do is blow a stream, while you're doing your circles, blow a stream of air, over the water. So not into it, but over. You know when you blow on a glass bottle and it makes that noise? Kind of like that. The air blowing over the water is kind of that representation of the winds blowing the thunderstorm your way. So that's why those two are done simultaneously. And finally, the third step is to focus your intent on drawing the storm to you. What would you you have to visualize when you're doing this. What do you want the storm to be like? Is it a gentle rainstorm? Is it a thunderstorm? Is there lightning? What is, how is this storm going to be? I know we've all experienced our favorite types of rainstorms. So how does that look for you? So with all that being said, just remember that you are responsible for the thunderstorms you create. So don't conjure anything that you're not ready to handle, I guess. So just be really careful. This is why I'm saying it's advanced or intermediate. If you're a green witch, you can actually use some plant friends to help you in this. So last month we talked about all about green witchcraft and herb magic. So if you haven't seen any of those videos, definitely check them out. But there are some herbs that I think we talked about last time that can be used in storm calling. Anyway, some herbs that have storm calling or rain calling powers are bracken, cotton, fern, heather, pansy. Then you also have rice and toadstool. So those can be used in any sort of ritual. You can put them around, if you're doing the spell that I just kind of talked to you guys about. If you can sprinkle them on your altar, make a circle around the bowl or the cauldron to kind of aid their energy, or lend their energy to aid your working. Just be careful if you're working with toadstools, because I want you to be able to pick the proper ones. Make sure you know what you're talking about. I don't want anyone to get sick or anything like that. So and there are also some herbs that should not be used in smoke cleansing bundles. So as always, do your research before you do any of that. But those are some herbs that could help you with storm calling or rain magic. So now that you've called on your thunderstorm, right, and it's pouring rain and it's totally awesome, you're just yes, I did it. What else can you do with that, right? My recommendation is to make storm water. So storm water is kind of like moon water, but it's charged, it's collected with it's collected during a thunderstorm and charged with the energy of the storm. So theoretically, like, the more chaotic the storm is, the more powerful that water is. I hope that makes sense. So if you collect storm water in like a gentle, peaceful rain, you can use that for maybe more peaceful, like dream spells or something like that. But just like any sort of like self-care stuff. But if you have like a really violent storm and you've caught water from that, you have storm water from that, you can use it like in more perhaps protective energy or baneful magic, which I will get to in a second. Warding for protection, for like breaking connections between people. There are also ways to like use it to be like heard, like if you're making a spell to be heard in the workplace or heard better like in your workplace if you feel like people aren't listening to you. You can use storm water to like give you that sense of like thunder, right? That's all fine and dandy, right? But I'm sure some of my more advanced witch friends are like, is she really gonna talk about this? Oh my gosh. But yes, the most common way I have used storm water is in baneful magic, right? Yep, I have done it. I know I am very much like that, like love and light kind of person, like 99.999% of the time. And it is true, I do have love in my heart for everybody, but sometimes shit happens, right? So anyways, I made storm water to create a witch bottle, which I can make a video about that later in case anyone wants to know about that. And it broke the connection. It was to break the connection between my abuser and myself. So I actually ended up, like, with that whole spell, I actually ended up making war water with storm water, which is a whole other topic that I will get to if people want to know more about that. So with baneful magic, storm water can be used because it has all of that like raw power and chaos in it, right? If you think about lightning, like that's just chaos. So if you're using it in baneful magic, like a hex, a curse, a jinx, etc., you just got to be really careful. I don't recommend this for beginners, but if you are going to employ that, it's kind of a way to do that, if that makes sense. So I'm not gonna like, I don't want to be the person to sit here and be like, yeah, curse everybody, hex people. Like that's not, for me, it's kind of like the final straw, like if someone pushes my boundaries repeatedly. And I would be really happy to talk more about baneful magic in a different video if you guys want, but I don't really want that to be the focus of today's video. So anyways, overall, storm magic is super exhilarating and a super cool thing to bring into your practice when you're ready. And I would love to hear about your guys' like forays into this type of magic. I'd love to hear about it. So I will see you guys later, and bye.